This is our Humans as Organisms title, which is part of the Forwards with Science series for Key Stage 2 Science, although some of the screens are suitable for younger and indeed older pupils. Forwards with Science titles run on TextEase, and that means that you need TextEase on the computer in order to run them. If we click on here, here we have the opening screen for Humans as Organisms. Click on here, we have an information panel. This is version 3.47, published in June 2012. And if we click on here, we'll have more information about the buttons that run on the screen. If we click on that one, that gives you an information screen about the heart. That one on the lungs. That one opens the menu page, and we'll click on there and come back to some of these screens again in a few moments. Click on that one for the first, the opening, not the opening screen, the first screen in the activity series. And here we've got the taskbar. Give me an opportunity to tell you a little bit about this. It is movable and doesn't print. That button takes us backwards. That one predictably takes us forwards. We know what that one does already. That is the task button. Click on the parts to find out what they do. That is the support button, here with linked hotspots for more information. That is the research button. We'll scroll down for more information there. That is the resource button, in this instance with drawings and labels, sometimes with beginnings and endings of sentences, or indeed complete sentences. So we click on there, and that tells us what the lungs do, and so on. Click on that icon to open a totally open-ended activity. And here we've got, can you design a new screen? Well, the new screen may be an information screen. And so we'll say, right, we'll bring some of those over. We can either do it that way by dragging them over, or we can, I'll show you another way of doing it. We'll bring that over, and we want to move that now down to there. Another way of doing it is to click on here, click on the word food pipe there, and move it over to where we want it. So we've got two ways of doing that. Now we might have asked the children to write all about all the different organs of the body, in which case they are going to maybe use the whole page all the way down there. And they can add information, and they can move things around as they wish. And they can work in groups maybe to do this activity and write their names on the page. You want to print the work so that they've got a record of that work for the future. You can either take it into print screen, in which case you would see what we see here with the background colour and with the buttons, make a JPEG and put that in the children's folder. Or if you click on this item, then you have a page without the background colour, without the buttons on it, and in fact an A4 page with all of the children's work further down as well. Come out of there, and here we have a word map activity. They could maybe write in that cell, the heart pumps blood around the body and so on. And here we have a comparison Venn diagrams with further information panels there. Position of the main organs, what we do is bring that over and so on. There we're writing about them. Here a role play activity, if only they could talk. We're not sure what to do with this first one. So we click on there, no, it doesn't appear there. What about here? This is the liver, it stores sugar until we need it. So we can write that down. I store sugar until I need it later on, or whatever they might write, and I do this and I do that and I do the other. Also a good one for role play in the class, using the pupils themselves saying, the other pupils guessing who they are and what they do. Here we have a prioritising activity. They can move the words to where they think, which one, if they think the brain is the most important, or they might think the heart is the most important. If the heart isn't there, then they can write it down. And here, justifying our thoughts. Why do we think that? Now, this is a good one for introducing a topic, and also a good whiteboard activity. Move that out of the way to park it, move that one up there, that one out of the way, that one up there, and so on. It's a good activity for the whole class. And of course, the words will talk if we click on the talking button, or indeed on Control T. And they're doing that in a different way. Location, description, what it does, why it's important, and another similar activity there. This is a role play activity. What do we do? The parts of the body and the jobs are all mixed up. Can we put them in the right places, the correct places? So we have to move them. And we do that for that activity. And there is, in fact, another activity similar to that on the programme. The two sides of the heart, what do we do here? Well, let's have a look. Again, can we think of words to write in the boxes? Click on the buttons if we need any help. So we click on that button, we need help. And so that'll tell us what the different parts do. And indeed, we can go on there and find out more information. And that will help us if we decide that we want to add to the diagram and complete it. And once again, we have a Venn diagram and a star diagram. What the heart does, how blood passes through the heart is a pump, understanding blood circulation. Here one, how exercise affects a heartbeat. I'll need a team of 5, 1 at a time, 2 to measure the rate and 2 to perform the activities and so on. Write the name down, the heartbeats, write down what the children did, and here they can record the information in the form of a graph. Development of the teeth, putting parts in the right places, a labelling activity, and I forgot to show you this one. This is one where you've got the different diagrams of tooth decay, for instance, that and that, and a lot of room there for discussion, looking after our teeth and ideas there for caring for the teeth. They could maybe number these and write down below what they would do. Here an activity on the skeleton, obviously a jiving skeleton. What we can do there is use R on the keyboard to rotate that and change the position. And here we can label the skeleton. All the labels are there. We can add to the diagram by dragging those out or labeling them. And here the jobs of the skeleton, and once again a Venn diagram. Parts of the skeleton, and once again a prioritising activity. A bit of mechanics here in moving the arm. There we've got the muscles, and there we can say what happens when the different muscles move. Here another activity on the arm. A baby in the womb, right, we can label that, we can write about it, or we can go into here. The baby may say, what is the baby saying? The baby is getting a bit short of room. Maybe that's what the baby's talking about. And the mother might be looking forward to seeing the baby. So it's up to the children what they write there. And once again, we have that and we have that. And thinking about food, this is a good activity for a homework activity on a Friday afternoon. The children make a list of all the letters and go home, discuss it with their parents, neighbours, siblings, friends and so on. And on a Monday morning, everyone collate their information and do a whiteboard activity based on food. And so what we can do here to show what to do. Right, okay, we'll say carrot there, sausages here, and what else? We can add fish. The children might say fish fingers, but we'll just say fish there. Another source of protein, let's have pulses. And maybe we'll have lettuce there, or we could have cabbage or whatever. And incidentally, you can add more information, and the only thing you'd have to do there would be to move that down. And in fact, if they do not move, they copy, you'd have to go into there and click on objects and make them movable, and you can just then bring them down. So there we go. Now we either bring these up, we can have fat for sausages, or indeed we could do it in a different way. So let's follow the guidelines that I've got here, and that tells us what to do. So we will select that square, that cell, we'll go into there, cell, fill colour, and we'll say we want yellow for carbohydrates. And we can likewise here, and we'll go for green for fat. Right, we'll get those out of the way so we can see what we're doing. And there we are. Now we can have carrot. Well, carrot's also got a lot of fibre in it, so we'll put the fibre in there as well. And sausages, they've got protein in them, so we can bring that up there as well. And we could end up with quite a colourful screen and with a lot of information on it that we may decide that we wish to print and do a print screen activity, keep the key down there, and have an activity whereby the children are able to look at that at any time in the future and find out what the different ones do. And we could link that to something like that with the nutrition graphs. Here we are, a grouping foods activity. What we can go here, we can have different foods. We'll click on there and that'll tell us we need fibre too, right? Well, we need fibre, so we'll think of things with lots of fibre in, green vegetables, apple, peas, and so on. And we can complete that activity. We can go to here, thinking about food, and a further activity, my favourite food and why. And healthy eating, what we can do here is add, we'll move that out of the way a little bit so we can see what we're doing. And we can say here, poached egg. No, we'll have a fried egg. With a fried egg, we'll have chips and we'll have sausages. Very nice. Not something to have too often, but very nice. And here we will have, we'll have a salad, and we'll have some boiled potatoes, and we'll think what else to put on there in a minute. And here, the reasons why that is healthy. We've got a lot of fibre there, we've got a lot of vitamins, and here, well, rather too much fat there. And here we have a Helen's Healthy Cafe. Once again, we've got the foods, and we can write the menu, 3 different menus, and we can put food on the plates as before. Here, Will is feeling ill. Well, that'll lead us to talk about food poisoning, the importance of washing hands, and here, cleanliness in the kitchen, once again, the importance of washing hands. How smoking affects the body, we can have this as a role play activity, or we can add the information we've got here, smoking may cause and what it might cause. And here, saying no to smoking, this could be a good activity as a class activity. A group of children, one in the middle, the other saying, have one, and the one in the middle, no, because it'll make my clothes smell, or no, it'll do this, no, it'll do the other. And here we are, parts of the lungs, how smoking affects the lungs, another no activity here. Letters of the alphabet, you don't have to use those letters, but that's just to give you an idea. And another one here, the if, then, because. If somebody smokes heavily, then this will happen because. And here we are, how alcohol affects the body, a similar sort of activity as we've seen before. What the parts of the brain do, there, the muscles control, the part controls muscles and balance. Now, what happens, alcohol may cause people to trip and walk unsteadily, and that is how that directly affects it. So here we are. Now, how humans affect the environment, totally open-ended. We've got a panel here, we can put the human there in the middle, and we can have different things. For instance, we have to get rid of human waste, we have to get rid of white goods, we have noise pollution, and so on and so forth. And there, the information panel will tell us quite a lot how humans affect the environment. We'll scroll down there, and the greenhouse effect, and the effect of the greenhouse effect, and back to the beginning again. And here, the greenhouse effect, and here, thinking about our carbon activity, daily activities, get up in the morning, we put the kettle on, and that increases the carbon footprint because electricity is required to boil the water, and so on. And that takes us back to the opening screen, and this is our programme, our title rather, Humans as Organisms.